Welcome to Reading the Room, where we explore the intersection of creativity and intuition. Hosted by Michael Frontier, a clairvoyant and architect of the soul, and his co-host, comedian Bente Engelstoft. Each week, we invite artists of all disciplines to pull back the curtain on the how and why of their craft. This is a sanctuary for creators, a place to bridge the gap between your work and your gut. So settle in, take a breath, and relax. Let's read the room.
Hey everyone, welcome to Reading the Room with Michael Frontier and my brilliant co-host, Bente Engelstoft.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm really well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling really happy. Michael and I just got our first batch of feedback from folks from releasing the pod, and the response has been so warm and lovely. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm wired and ready for sound.
Yeah.
I really am. And, to just jump on what you just said, people have been so kind and so supportive. And I am so incredibly grateful, as I know you are as well.
Yes, big time.
And I feel like, our intention is really, we're connecting with other people's intention. I think people are really hungry for what we're going to be able to offer.
I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite pieces, I think the person who you shared with me their feedback was, one of them was your mother.
Yes,
and
it was my mother.
At which, how old is your mom?
92.
92.
Mm-hmm.
And so moms know.
Yeah.
So when your mom says that she enjoyed it, and that means the most to me.
Oh.
And also she said something so lovely where she said that I don't need to be anxious, that I am confident. And I thought that was so nice. And it made me laugh because my mom, when I told her I had anxiety, her response was, you need to find out what makes you anxious and then stop it. And I just thought, that's moms. That's
moms. Because you know what, Bente, even when I texted it to you, I texted it. So we can read a text any way we want. And, sometimes what we write doesn't always translate well. And I was like, ooh, I hope this doesn't sound like you're being told, like, oh, don't feel anxious, like to minimize your feelings. And it was it was just like the way I read it, even I was like, oh, this is a mom coming through, moms of the world. Like, like, baby, don't be anxious. You've got nothing to be anxious about, right?
Yes, that's how I received it positively. I felt that, and I say thank you so much.
Yes. And then, because my mom also wrote, maybe I'm not reading it correctly. I'm doing this from the top of my head, but something like
same.
She knows how to reel it in, and and then I had to take a step back. Like, well, wait, like, what does that mean? Like, where am I going? Like, I need wrangling.
And that was her feedback to you.
And I was like, wait, what did I do that she needed to reel me in? So. But I took it with love. I took it as constructive criticism.
She listened to it. That's so.
Oh, she listened to it twice.
My mother doesn't even have a podcast app. She absolutely doesn't know how to listen to a podcast. Her friend will have to show her. But that's so sweet. And thank you everyone for your feedback. And if you get a chance, please rate and review us on iTunes. That really helps us be more visible to other people.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Yes. I would just want to say, even for my mom at 92, she's my mother, I think she's amazing. I love her so much, but that she is trying to be technologically savvy. She's got an iPhone. It's not her favorite, but she likes it because we have a family group text. Yeah. And so she's a part of it and she loves it. And she does the voice dictation. So, sometimes you're reading it and it's like, I know she's listening, so I'm not talking out of turn, but you're also getting stream of consciousness with her, with her text messages. But man, at 92, she's mobile, lucid, and, fiercely independent. And I'm incredibly grateful
and engaged. And it's
so my God. Yeah. She still reads the paper from cover to cover. So she knows what's going on in the world.
Love
so
that.
I'm like, if that's the stock I came from, like, I'll take it.
Absolutely.
That's the good gene pool.
That's
right?
awesome. Mm-hmm.
So, but I can't wait to meet your mother. And so just
Guadalupe, the way she
we gotta
texts,
meet Guadalupe.
she's just texting her. Her thumbs are going. She knows what she's saying. You know, my mother.
Of course.
Yeah, English is her second language.
Makes perfect sense, right?
So
yeah,
like,
of course.
it's different. Sometimes the autocorrect does not work in her favor, and so
Why should
John
it?
has to be like, "What did she mean by this?" And I'm like, and because I've been looking at these messages my entire life, I'm like, "Oh, she meant this, and actually she said that." And I have to fully interpret it.
Oh God!
But I maybe one day we'll have her on. That would
I would love it.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah,
she has sort of, I think, a bit of the gift as well.
The intuitive, absolutely.
Yes.
I agree with you, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is such a great opportunity for us to share what we know, and something that dropped in for me at about 3:00 this morning. So I got up and I wrote this down. Was because I'm always like thinking about what we can talk about, and it's not that hard. But like, so the word and the meaning behind spirit and soul. And I'll throw it out to you right now. Like, here, I'll start with, I've used them interchangeably.
Yeah.
Spirit, soul, I'm kind of thinking it's the same thing. I'm not prompting you. Do you have, what do you think is the spirit? What do you think is the soul?
Well, it's funny because, growing up, my mother was Catholic. And so for me, spirit in my head is like Holy Spirit. Mm-hmm. And it's, they think about the trilogy and they're all the same.
The Trinity. Yeah. Oh, you're an actor. The trilogy. Yes.
The trilogy. Oh boy.
I am laughing at you right now.
No, you should. And honestly, you don't come here for my Catholicism takes. But the Holy Trinity, of course.
God.
And so at first, before I spoke to you, the spirit, a person's spirit, is like their energy, their joie de vivre, and your soul is sort of the internal, the you without your meat and skeleton. It's just the essence.
Very good.
And I think that the way that you speak about spirit, connecting with spirit, to me now I think of it as like a life source or universe energy.
Yeah.
And then soul is me. But perhaps, interesting to hear that you use them kind of interchangeably.
Yeah, and the younger me, and incorrectly, but just kind of thinking that I could, but very good. That's actually really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I actually wrote this out because I wanted to make sure I was being as clear as possible. And so with the soul, think of your soul as the individualized part of you. For each of us, it's our unique blueprint, our personality, it's our history. You can think of it as it's the me that carries your memories, your traumas, your patterns, your specific creative architecture. When we talk about releasing patterns or shedding blocks, we are working on the soul level. So it's like the earth plane soul level. If you need an image, I get images all the time. You can think of the soul. It's like the stained glass window. Each one is shaped differently and colored by life experiences. So then the spirit is the impersonal. It's the universal life force that moves through you. It is the signal that does not change, regardless of what you've been through. It's the spark of the divine or the universe, whatever language helps you. Don't get tripped up on the words, but your connection to source that connects you to everything else. It doesn't have a personality. It simply is. It does not change. When you feel the lightness of your being, you are feeling your spirit shine through without the soul's clutter getting in the way. So again, like a metaphor, the spirit is the light shining through the window. It is pure, white, and constant.
Ooh.
So the spirit is the energy and the soul is the container for it. When people say they feel heavy or blocked, it's never their spirit that they're talking about. Your spirit is always perfect. It's the soul that's gotten a bit dusty or cluttered with old beliefs. So my job, the work I do, whether it's a reading, Reiki, it's you and I on our podcast, is to clean the glass. Because when the soul is clear, the spirit can shine through without distortion. That is what I mean when I talk about the lightness of my being. You aren't creating light, you're just getting out of the way so the light can finally be seen.
I love cleaning the glass. I love that, Michael.
Good.
That's really good. Very clear imagery. Yes.
Oh, good. So then thanks for saying that, because this is less about fixing the light, more about Windexing the soul. So how's that?
Snapping,
okay.
Snaps.
I should wake up at 3:00 every morning.
Wow.
Okay, so even I want you to, Bente, you to know this and our listeners to know this. So like everybody else, I'm walking through this world. I'm getting it just like everybody else. There's a lot of this stuff that I just know it. I don't know why or how, I just do. So I get it for me. Sometimes where I get tripped up is like, I get it. When I have to explain it to somebody else, I just live this. So yeah. I'm not better than anybody. Do you know what I mean? But it's like second nature. So then when I have to stop and think about it, like that's where it's like, well, because even when I'm explaining stuff, I don't think about it as much as the way I explain it to other people. I just do it.
Yeah.
I will imagine that was born out of my being hypervigilant. So I intentionally wrote it down, and we'll make sure that that's in our show notes for people to get and to read. And I came up with like a little quick reference guide. So
that's awesome.
But yeah, because I just think that this is so important. And, like with the reading work, like I cannot tell you what the meaning of life is. However, I can offer you the purpose of life. It's the expansion of our soul. And how does the soul expand? Through love, loving, sharing, and experience.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's it. So you think of trilogy, Trinity.
Yeah.
You can laugh at that. So, but seriously, it's like the whole, how do we keep evolving? Go ahead, honey.
I need to jump in just to say that I just had this conversation yesterday. I'm watching this show called Alone. It's on Netflix, and it's these survivalists go out into the wilderness right now. In the most recent season, they're in this Arctic Circle, and each of them are given the challenge of surviving off the land. It's not like they have to film themselves. There is no crew. They are literally by themselves. They see a doctor once a week for health checks, but like, there's this guy on the show, and he's from a very small town in Arkansas. His first time getting on a plane was to come to the Arctic Circle to do this show. And after a certain amount of time, they tap out. They say, like, this is too much. I can't do it, or I'm sick, or whatever it is, And he was an incredible survivalist and like had a lot of like really wise and funny things to say. But when he walked away from the show, and he was like, man, I thought I had it all in my hometown. And now I see that there is so much to see. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but basically just saying like, oh, I need to go and experience other parts. I need to, he's like, at least once a year, I want to take my family somewhere. Like, I have these beautiful woods in my home, but I haven't seen these woods in other places. Like, I need to expand. And also the show being called Alone. Sure. So many people go home because they miss the connection. They're like, wow, I knew I was physically able, but mentally I need people. I love to be around my family, my community.
Yep.
And so it's just very much like highlighting this, what you're saying, which is to expand our souls, is to connect with people and
Absolutely.
other perhaps cultures. And
Yes.
we need to be more curious. That's the conversation I had yesterday.
Perfect.
We need to be more curious. That's what's actually going to fill you up, is asking questions, going somewhere that you haven't been before, even in your own city. You know, go to a museum you haven't been to before, walk in a neighborhood you haven't been to, like those things. Try a type of cuisine you haven't had.
Yes.
All these things, even if you don't like it, it's still like is information that you're gathering.
Absolutely. You know, I can bring my mom into this, and just that she's interesting because she's interested.
Yes.
And you have to be curious about the world.
Yes.
And that's why what you just said, it's why we speak to people who don't think like us or believe the way my beliefs, that whether I agree with you or not, I do want to understand why you think what you think, where you're coming from, what got you to this place in your life. I do this all the time. I'm always looking at people like, oh my God, like what happened to you? Like what, how, where, why, you know? The way I said that, maybe it sounded bad. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it's really great. So it's not like a negative, but I truly love knowing people's history. And
me too,
you know, because I'm always inspired.
Me too. As a kid, I thought I was going to be a psychologist, and I would joke it's because I was nosy, but I wanted to know people's story. I've always been so interested in people's personal stories and experiences.
Yes.
Always.
You know, like my work, it's like sleuthing work. Like I feel like I'm a detective, you know, we're like going through your soul and your spirit, and we're like picking up things that, you know, have been lost along the way. They're there, but we just forgot that. So it's kind of like, it's fun for me, you know, it's kind of like a challenge. Like I love it. And I just want to add something. So like I probably, most of the people listening to us, you know, we grew up, you know, with not a lot of money, but, you know, we were comfortable, and, you know, food on the table, clean house, clean clothes, right? You know, the basics. And so growing up, I never wanted to be a poor old person. And part of that, it sounds like, how do I say this? It wasn't necessarily altruistic on my part. It was that low self-esteem. I never wanted to be a burden. And so I never wanted to be a poor old person. And so I've learned how to ask. I know how to receive. So I've worked on that. But younger me was like fiercely independent. And so growing up, absolutely. So you can relate.
I relate.
Yes, as I'm sure a lot of our listeners do. So, you know, my parents, the extent of their financial wisdom was basic, in that, like, they were not in the stock market. You know, my mom understood bonds and CDs. And so it was like very safe. And, you know, there was some growth, but nothing major. So that's what I knew entering the world as a young adult. And like, I never had a job that offered Roths or, you know, retirement or anything like that. So growing up then, as a young adult then, like, I never wanted somebody to take care of me. You know, people want a daddy or whatever. It's like, I was about, I'll make my own money because I don't want to be controlled.
Exactly.
That's a big deal for me. And I can teach this to our audience right now. It's like, you know, making money gives you permission to say, financial freedom gives you permission to say no to the things that you don't want to do. And man alive, if you've got that, man, you've got everything. And if you're working towards that, good. And we're going to support you in however we can. So I wanted to surround myself with people who had money. I knew how to make money, but my thought was like, well, like, I know how to put it in the bank, but like, how do you keep it? How do you make it work for you? How do you make it grow?
Right.
And so I just wanted their knowledge. I didn't want what they had. I was always happy for what they had, and that's where I learned about passive income and, owning a rental property and that kind of stuff, or purchasing land that just kept increasing in value. So, and then a little bit about the stock market and all that kind of stuff. But that was a really good way to talk to people who knew things that I didn't, who grew up in worlds to be curious. And we always talk about like wants and needs and whatever, but I genuinely wanted their knowledge.
Yeah.
I wanted their guidance. And, my parents did the best that they could. We talk about this all the time, but it's like they had fears around money. And I grew up with those fears, and then I had to work on releasing those fears. So from spirit to soul to making money.
And now we're going to tell you about
together.
Our MLM that we're starting. You start 10 friends to start a podcast.
I'm thinking about that. That's actually not a bad idea. So, oh gosh. So,
oh my gosh.
But so, I hope that's helpful. And as always, we're always looking for your feedback. So, if you've got questions for us, let us know. But having said that, why don't we take a quick commercial break? And when we come back, we're going to be answering questions from our listeners. Success isn't just about what you build. It's about the internal framework that supports it. I'm Michael Frontier, and whether we're reading the room on the podcast, sitting for a reading, or beginning our coaching work together, my mission is the same: to help you shed old patterns and move forward with a grounded spirit and a fluid heart. When you align your intuition with your intent, you finally reclaim the lightness of your being, step into your purpose, and leave with permission. Connect with me at michaelfrontier.com. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We are opening up the vault.
That's right.
We've had some people write in and ask us questions. So
I'm so excited. Yes. We're just doing first names. And if you think you know who this person is, no, you don't. And keep it to yourself. Now, what's funny is like 3 of these are on almost the same question, which I think is really fun. So I'm excited to see sort of if there's different answers for each one but okay. Now, some of these are short and to the point. So
okay, good.
Here we go. The first one's from Peter. What does Spirit say about New York City for me?
Okay. Hi, Peter. Thanks for writing to us. So what I'm going to answer first is, I heard your question, but we're going to go with what I feel, and then I'll answer the question. So great question. The feeling is for Peter's like right now, like a feather in the wind. So it's like a ping pong, like a pinball machine, bing, 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 bing. And wherever you are, that's where you land. And, it's like that feather in the wind energy. And so it's not so much. So then also I'm answering questions you didn't ask me, but this is how it works for me. And so for Peter, I'm closing my eyes. If you're watching me, I'm going to just close my eyes because I can get to the answer faster. So for Peter, it's, it's the understanding. I know I've not talked to Peter, so if I sound like I've met him or talked to him, I haven't. But energetically, I feel like Peter needs to work on like, when I get to New York, it's like this golden state. It's going to change everything. And so for Peter, the New York can absolutely happen. It's the work that needs to be done before you get to New York. New York's not going to be the fix. And so whatever you think you're going to be doing in New York, start doing it now wherever you are. And okay, so like, even though Bente asked me the question, there just seems to be a lot of fear for Peter right now, a lot of energy of like lack and limitation. And so if I said I don't connect with that fear for him because I think he's so talented, very funny. So my answer about the move to New York is Peter needs to work on trust with a capital T. Trust that the universe is providing, trusting that he's going to be taken care of. Peter is one of those people that needs to turn off the news. Like listen, we're all empathic, okay? Some of us are just way more sensitive to energy. And so it's all fear. It seems like the news is more fear-based than ever before.
Yeah.
And so I think Peter writes really well. And Peter this is what I get a kick out of for all of you guys who are writers. Like, you can literally script out what you want your life to look like. So for me, and the final answer is, so if Peter wants to move to New York, he can absolutely go. Okay. I'm going to pause on that I'm going to come back to that in a second. So Peter's getting a little reading today. But I think what he's asking is really universal, and so many people are wondering this question as well. So, shoot. Okay, it'll come right back to me. So Peter writer can write himself. Okay. So it's not that he can't go to New York. I just don't want him to get swallowed up in New York. And so I'm wondering if for him, it's short trips to New York or like a month in New York. He's just, as we get older, for a lot of us, we're becoming more sensitive. And I don't want, New York's amazing. I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks, right? We love it. It's a fun town. Oh my God, we love it, right?
Yes.
I don't want it to dim him or dull him. And so, Peter, like, this is true for a lot of empaths. We need to be in the country. We need to be out in nature. And so, doesn't mean we need to live on a farm, but we need access to green space, outside space, water, right? So, Peter, right now, in this moment that I'm speaking, Peter like is getting caught up in like what other people are doing. And I can't label it as FOMO, but Peter needs to start living his life like he's doing yoga. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else. It's your practice, and that's all that matters. So, final answer. If Peter wants to go to New York, he can absolutely go, but go with what I just offered.
I love that. Love that answer.
So
yes,
you know him.
I do.
Yeah. So
and
okay.
And my answer is, don't go to New York. Stay in LA next to me. No.
Never leave.
Never leave.
Your soul does not need any more expanding. So there, we are just fine here. So
I'm just kidding. Kidding. No, I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Love that answer.
Well, there's more. I mean, let me throw this out as fast as I can. I think, I know you're joking.
Yes,
you're not joking, but you're joking. I know you want him to be here, right? So, but he's not done with LA yet.
Ooh,
and
that's a very clarifying answer.
Yeah, he's not done. And listen, could he be done a minute after he hears this message when the podcast is released? Of course. You know, can he already intuitively pick up on what I just said? Of course. Right. But so it's like, take care of what you got to take care of before you leave. And then you're free to go. I can explain this to everybody. It's like a relationship. It's like a job. If you don't do the work, if there's problems and you don't do the legwork and you leave, I promise you, with both hands to the universe, all you're doing is changing the faces.
Yeah.
And the next group of people or the next person, they have honed their skills and they're going to be even tougher or harder than the last. So I promise you, do the work before you make any major changes. And when you make the changes, then you've got a clear conscience and you do not need to look back.
Love it. Okay, well, let's go on to our next question. This one's from Casey.
Hi, Casey.
And he says, "You read me at Oral."
Ooh.
That was that's actually a show that I host, a comedy show here in LA. And Casey says, "You read me at Oral. I'm an actor in LA. You said you see me on the East Coast and that I should create my own work because this current path of auditioning isn't working. Can you elaborate?"
Sure. So, hi, Casey. Thanks for letting me read you at Oral. So does Casey spell it? You don't have to give me the spelling, but is it 2 letters or is it the whole name?
The
Is
whole
it
name.
K? Okay, got it. So I have no idea what the significance of what that is. I just needed to ask
You need to
because
know.
they asked me. I needed to know. So this is an answer that's come through for a lot of people in the performing arts. Is that y'all have to stop waiting for somebody to write something for you. Nobody knows you better than yourself. You know your skill set. And so for Casey in particular, it's kind of similar. I'm going to pause for 1 second. When you all come and sit with me for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, the messages are very similar. And even though you're all unique individuals, you don't know each other, you're all on a very similar path. So it's interesting that even now, listening, answering your questions right now, the questions seem very similar. And so for Casey, again, it's a matter of, going out with the right intention that Casey could absolutely conquer New York. I don't know what conquer means. I am just listening to the answer. However, Casey needs to go. You have to have a really strong sense of self. And like we mentioned to Peter, yoga practice, we're not comparing ourselves to anybody else. We can admire other people's work, but we don't want to compare ourselves to them. So for Casey, the question he didn't ask me is, he's been seeking permission. It seems I could say his whole life. Is that a literal translation? No, he's made choices without people's permission, but the energy of him waiting to be told it's okay to go. So I'm absolutely telling him it's okay to go. So having said that, he's another one. It's like, set the intention. The clearer you are, the faster the universe responds. So if he's thinking, okay, does he have his packet together? So for people not in the industry, a packet would be like a writer's packet. You have to help me with this one. I think I'm saying it correctly.
Yes, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
So
you're writing samples.
samples.
Your work. You say, "This is who I am. This is how I write." Yeah.
So Casey could be. I'm playing with Casey right now, but Casey could be literally packing right now for New York, but also the legwork of sending his packets out to whoever is going to be, that is appropriate for him.
Correct.
There's more there, and it's coming through slowly because I think Casey gets overwhelmed with too much information at once. So, which is not good or bad, right or wrong. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can work with Casey on that level. But so even for Casey, it's, do we go right to Manhattan or do we end up in the Hudson Valley? I just know a little bit about New York, but Casey's one of those people. Casey becomes his environment. And so if he's around energetic, forward-thinking people, he's at the front of the class, right? But he was around people who are cranky, moody. He picks up that energy and he lives down to other people's limiting beliefs. So that's my biggest message for Casey is quit living down to other people's limiting beliefs. You know what you've got. It's a message I had gifted Benda and Ryan after the show, and then I came back with another answer. It's like, quit auditioning. Like, own your power. This is not coming from arrogance. It's healthy ego. That's good for all of us. But quit apologizing for being talented. Casey's waiting for everybody else to make it, and then it's like it's okay for him to make it. So go.
He's like waiting his turn.
Yeah. And it's like, you be the leader. You show them how it's done and let them follow in your wake. Listen, I've gifted these questions to everybody I've ever worked with. My 2 favorite questions: number 1, where am I going? Question number 2, who is going with me? The advice with those 2 questions: never ask the second question first. We'll get the person's name. I did not make those up, but those questions changed my life. If you ask me a question, I'm going to give you a really long answer.
No, but it's thorough. And as far as writing, what would you say, like, as maybe somebody who hasn't written a lot with this in mind before, like, what's like a good first step, like journaling, for example?
So I will use myself as an example. And so if anybody's ever done The Artist Way, in that book, the journey through that book, there's a task where you write a letter from your 8-year-old self to your future self. There's a letter from your 80-year-old self to your current self, which now for me is only 17 years away. And it's like, we got to up that number a little bit. But so one of my letters from my future self was, Terry and I were on the Amalfi Coast. The bougainvillea's climbing down the wall. Our private chef is making us breakfast. I have no idea why, but we're running late in this future event. And our private jet is waiting to take us to Paris for our new fall fashion. But this was the line: because my voice is taking me around the world.
Wow.
And that was my intention. And from that intention, a couple of years ago, I was invited to do a workshop in Italy. I've traveled the States, throughout our own country, to speak on intuition, to keynote, to do shows. I performed at Oral with an amazing group of people who were so loving and supportive. So that was my intention. I wrote that. It was years later that it came to fruition, but it came.
Yes.
And I believed it. Okay, so I can offer everybody this. When you're asking the universe for something, Michael Frontier, my voice will take me around the world. That was a statement. But I did not get tripped up in the how. So when you're manifesting, asking any of this stuff, don't worry about the how. Let the universe take care of that.
Great.
I promise you. We'll do the legwork.
Yeah.
My silly example, you want a job, you can pray for the new job. Yes, of course. But you also have to send out a resume. And, back in the day, you pounded the pavement and walked door to door and filled out applications. So it's not like, well, I asked the universe for a job. It's like, yes. So a lot of improvisers. Yes. And then I did the legwork.
Yeah.
So, but the how, the universe, let the universe provide the how.
Yeah. I think the universe also rewards people who you make your intention known, but then also the universe, I think, rewards folks who do their part.
Absolutely. You were so spot on.
Yeah.
That is so true. And even like with the work that I do, I can't be more excited, like the coaching work. I can't be more excited about your coaching work than you are. I can't be more excited about your healing than you are. No. I'm very excited. I think you can tell how animated I get when I do this. It's why I purposely don't watch myself. But, I really love it because I've got the universe coming through me. And this is what I can do. You all put your prayer requests out there and I hear the answer. That's what I do. So I'm showing you that they heard you. And so again, this brings us back to our faith and the practice of, practicing our faith. So anyway, blah, blah,
awesome.
blah, blah, blah.
No blah, blah. I love it. Hey, everybody, it's Bente Engelstoft. Are you familiar with that Sunday scary feeling? Me too. I'm someone who deals with anxiety, and the best thing I've found to treat it is to work with my hands. I love to make art, and so I've started the Sunday Scaries Art Club. It's an art club for adults. Find out more at Sunday Scaries Art Club on Instagram. Okay, here we go. This next question is from John. He asks, what do you see for the long arc of humanity? Will we save ourselves? Do we need to expand to the stars?
Ooh, good. That's great. Wow.
I know.
So I got this message years ago. And I'm going to actually pause and start with we're all made of stardust. So we're already living in the stars. We're already a part of the cosmos, the universe, the galaxies. We really are.
Yeah.
Our souls like never sleep. So when we go to bed at night, our soul is out there experiencing. You know, people talk about time travel, people who wake up really exhausted. It's like your soul's been running all night. You know, your soul's not exhausted, but your body is. But there's just so much out there. So we're already connected. We live here. We all chose to be on this earth plane. This earth plane is really dense, but we chose to be here. So if we chose to be here, let's have a blast, right? Yeah. It's like bring forth what you know, do what you do.
Grow where you're planted.
Oh my God, right? It's the truth.
Yes.
You know, it's like there are gifts that only you can open. So don't deny us you. Right?
Yeah.
So humanity, I got this, I kind of think this is part of the answer is that truly, we're going to be fine. I mean, everything that is happening today has happened. It's already happened in the past, different versions of it, but it's the same thing. I got this message that we would turn into a voiceless society. Perhaps not in our lifetime, but somewhere in our future, near future, 100 years, 200, 500, I don't know. But because in the future, we'll really be able to connect with intention. So if you've ever sat with me for a reading, you know, the worst kind of something I've said often was like the worst kind of evil comes with a big smile on their face. Oh, you know, okay. No, I love Benda. I like Benda. So I'm just using this as an example. And I'm like, oh, hey, Benda, hi, nice to see you, you know, and big smile. Oh my God. Oh, and I love you. And then as soon as you turn around, it's like, oh, you know, hate her, you know, she's evil, right?
Yeah.
But the looking at me, my body language is all smiles and love. But the intention is fake, fake, fake. And so
the fakeness will perhaps dissipate and we'll be presenting with our true intention.
Will be in the true intention. People will be able to feel the intention before they hear your words. We're going to become finer tuned into that. And so to answer about humanity. And so that's like another layer level shield that will be eliminated. And so you'll be able to feel somebody's pure intent. You'll be able to feel if somebody doesn't have your best interest, if it's self-serving. And because of that, it will seem like self-serving will become less lessened or weakened because we'll be able to see through
it faster, sooner.
There you go. You said it perfectly.
I'm so sorry I keep jumping.
No, my God, please jump in.
I feel like it's very apropos, sort of, but so many of us are seeing when we watch the news and we're going, this person is lying through their teeth. I cannot believe that people are buying this. And what I'm hearing you say is that there will come a time in the future where we will all be able to see that, and there will be no hiding behind your voice because we can read you and feel your true intentions.
Yes. And so the kids that are being born are more in tune. They're connected longer to spirit, to source. We have tools, you know, I'm going to preface this with, you know, yes, we are watching the dumbing down of a lot of society. And on the flip side, something good has to come from this. And there are really intelligent people out there, and there are very kind people out there. The good nicks are getting all the attention right now, but that's where the good on the fringe will rise up.
Yeah, you kind of have to shed light on the stupidity in order to overcome it.
And it all needs to be exposed.
Yes.
If you don't get this ugly darkness out, it festers. It's always going to be just below the surface. So, I mean, I hope we're at their bottom right now.
Baby, I hope so too.
I did kind of say that like a question, because even I'm not sure. Like, I think so.
Yeah.
But you're finding people rising up and speaking their truth. And genuinely, you're starting to see light bulbs going off. Something you had just said, where we're sitting here watching TV and it's like, oh, they're lying. It's like, there's politicians I've watched in the past, and I'd be like, how could you believe this guy? Like, liar. And especially me, I'm like so sensitive to all this stuff. But we live in a society of single voter issues. And so how does it affect me? How does it impact me? You're a mom, dad, person who's putting food on the table for yourself or your family. You're, the loaf of bread, eggs.
That's what you're worried about. Absolutely.
That's what you're worried about, right?
Price, yeah.
So I get it. But humanity is fine. I to our audience, like, I'm promising you, like, we all chose to be here. So don't be passive. Own your power. This is why I love artists, because I said this already. You provide colorful commentary. You make fun of the absurd. You make these hellacious situations palatable, in that you allow us to talk about it. You bring it. I find humor, not everything is funny, but I do find humor helps bridge the gap. Yes, or helps in understanding. Music, a piece of art. So, and what's so interesting, Benda, is like schools, whatever. It's like, that's the first thing that loses funding.
I know.
But art, right, fosters imagination, creativity, solutions are found. So, long answer, we're going to be fine.
Yeah.
So,
but we have to save ourselves.
We have to save ourselves.
Do your part.
But that's also part of take care of yourself first, and then we can take care of everybody else. Can I tell everybody this? Nobody needs fixing. Nobody. I promise. People are not projects. So quit trying to fix people. He, she, they, them are not a project. People need help. That's different. And you help at your capacity. That's a whole episode. All right.
That's
we'll do
absolutely.
An episode of, that might be season 2.
Yeah.
So now I'm all worked up. So, why don't we take one more?
One more? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. People are going to be so upset that I didn't get to their thing. Okay. This is from Vin.
Hi, Vin.
And he asks, I want to know if my dad wished he had continued a music career.
Yes.
And, short answer.
Yeah. Yeah. So what can Vin do to honor that?
Ooh. Love that.
Helpful?
Okay. Very. In that case, I'm going to give you another one because that was short.
Okay. Yeah, good.
Okay. These last two are actually kind of similar, so but I'll give it from Francisco. Do I keep expecting, hoping for more from this source, or have we gotten what we're going to get from it?
So, hi, Francisco. Release expectation. I know some of these answers sound like horoscopes, but it's true in that, when you pray, you should expect that your prayer is answered. In human form, when we put expectations on others, it leads to disappointment because we can't control what somebody does. We can't control how somebody's going to, we hope they're not reacting, but we can't control how somebody responds. And so let me see. Ask me the question one more time.
You bet. Do I keep expecting / hoping for more from this source, or have we gotten what we're going to get from it?
And this is Francisco.
Yeah.
It's not that you aren't going to get more. I just don't know when more is going to come, and I don't know how much longer you want to wait for more. And because then you're being held captive. And I'm not projecting onto anybody. I don't like anybody having control over me.
Yeah.
So I'm not projecting that on, but I don't want him to feel like he's being held.
Yeah.
Okay, so but there's more there. So I like that you're hopeful. So I don't want to take that away from you. But okay, so kind of like, was it, I don't know if it was Peter or the second Casey. I've got a million thoughts going through my head right now. So
no problem. I can sing while you a little intermission music while
yeah,
you find the answer.
It's like I'll just go back to this particular person in that while you're still hopeful, you still keep moving forward. Don't wait. It's like putting your eggs in all your eggs in one basket. And when that hits, then it's like the lottery, it's like, I'm just going to go back to, because it doesn't just involve this person that's asking the question.
Mm-hmm.
I know how the question was asked, but it energetically feels like there's a lot more people involved.
Okay.
And so it's I know we can edit out the silence.
Yeah,
so
we can. No problem.
I've got to sit with that. I've got to remember that because I'm like trying to hurry up my answers. No. So I just took the pressure off myself. So thank you, John. So to switch from using the word expectation, just no shame. Okay. Well, we're going to take expectation to clarity. You have to have an idea of what you want the outcome to be. So we'll use clarity. And so it's like coaching work. You start with the end in mind and you work your way backwards. And so sometimes we align with people who are good in the moment, but sometimes when the project starts, their capacity is different than ours. And I believe, because there's a couple people coming through in this, it's more than just the person who asked the question. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel, I'm going to just say it the way I think it. It's like, I feel like I'm talking to two people who are leaders, but they're acting like followers. And they're not here to follow. There's a lot more there.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you know them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just asking, does that resonate with you based on what you know about them?
From what I know about them, I would say they are a leader.
Yeah.
And they need to take up that space.
Owning that, right. Yes. So, and if I misidentified by saying he, that's
No,
just
he is right.
old.
He's right.
Okay. So, but there's a lot more there, and I'm not doing a tease like, ooh,
ooh,
call
sign
me.
up.
Yeah. And
if you
for
start
the
a podcast
answer,
and get 10 friends.
I think part of it is that what I just said needs to sink in so they can be comfortable stepping into that role of leader. And I think, so this is the extra stuff that I was thinking about. So I think sometimes the word leader, there's a fear of extra responsibility. And for some people listening, it's like, God, I don't want any more responsibility. It's like just enough to get myself through the day. But the universe will always provide. The universe will gift you exactly what you can handle. So I think I'm going to say this couple. I know it's one person who wrote the question, but I don't know what that couple means. I'm just going to say it, right? So, but like this fear of the future is not serving them. And so for anybody who's feeling anxious, I've talked about this a million times. Like some things that we can do to curb anxiety is, so it's first chakra energy, root chakra energy. The more rooted, the more grounded we are, tethered to Mother Earth, right? It's the color red. The more structure we have, we're actually creating more freedom. And I know that sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. To be rooted and grounded, how does that create freedom? The more structure we have creates more freedom. So my silly example is, so like when I work, I'm always rooted, I'm always grounded. I keep a paper calendar, I have a calendar on my phone. But so I know when I'm working. The coaching work, it's the same time for everybody every week, right? So I know I've got time in between some of my clients, and sometimes there's days where there's a big chunk of time, but I can get to the gym, I can go grocery shopping or whatever. Well, that's freedom because I know I don't have to be anywhere. And so I know what my schedule looks like. So I don't think I'm an anxious person. If I was an anxious person, I could block out my time. I look at my schedule and say, oh, okay, get through a couple sessions, I get a breather. Get through a couple sessions, get through a breather. So for everybody, create this structure so that you've got permission to go play.
I want to piggyback on that. If I can give another visual, if this is helpful. Please. Sometimes if I sit down in front of a piece of paper to draw or paint or whatever, and I have all of my paints available, all of my color pencils, crayons, I have every option available to me to be creative, it is overwhelming. The choice is overwhelming. However, sometimes I'll give myself parameters where I'll be like, well, actually, you're only allowed to use these 3 markers.
Good.
So do what you can with these 3 markers. Yes. And suddenly it unlocks something within me that allows me, it gives me the freedom to be creative. As where I'm like, great, I have my parameters. I have these 3 colors. It's going to be on this piece of paper. Let's go. What can I achieve with this? As opposed to I have everything at my fingertips. I'm spoiled for choice and in fact, paralyzed by it.
I love your answer. So I'm going to piggyback
on
what you just said. So,
yes. Oink, oink.
But so, okay. So for this person or this couple, the gift of perfectionism. And so oftentimes people are overwhelmed by their potential. And if they can't do it perfectly, they're not going to do it at all. What you said about too many choices, it's true for all of us. You go to a restaurant with a menu that's, pages, and nobody can choose. You go to a restaurant where, it's limited. It's like, well, the choices are pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. So, but that's true for so many people. And oftentimes, for that perfectionist, you'll see them just sitting on the couch and it looks like they're not doing anything. But the truth is they've exhausted themselves because they can't decide what to do. So that is a great question that Francisco asked. There's a lot of different layers that all need to be addressed before you can get to that root. I know I've got permission because they asked us the questions, but there's a lot more that needs to be sifted through. And those are the best answers to jumpstart for them to jumpstart on the direction that they're going. But expect your prayers to be answered. People don't always meet our expectations.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great.
And then there's some money stuff going on with them too.
Uh-oh.
So like they, own your money, own your power, own your finances, and you're not a bank. Whoever needs to hear that within that group of people, that they're not a bank. Now I'm getting mad. So, how's that
was
for our
awesome.
first round of listeners' questions?
Oh my gosh. It was excellent, Michael. My goodness.
Good.
I feel like I got so many answers to questions I didn't have
that
I needed to hear.
Good.
So hopefully our listeners feel the same way. And, please keep sending them to us. Message Michael or I on Instagram. You can just give us your first name. We'll keep it anonymous beyond that. And we love to hear what you're thinking about.
We really are. And, I promised Benda, she'd be able to answer questions with me, and I didn't give you the opportunity today. So
no,
moving forward, no, but I'm curious, and you piggybacked perfectly with what you said, because it reminded me, it's a message I've gifted often, but that gift of perfectionism, we need perfectionists. There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to be overwhelmed by your perfectionism.
That's right.
So why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back and meditate our way out, and to go on and have a great week.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back. So as long as you're not driving, get yourself settled, comfortable, close your eyes, take a big deep breath, breathing in and exhale through your mouth. And breathing in and exhale. Breathing inspiration. Exhale expectation. And if the universe trusts me, then I have permission to trust myself. From the core of my being, on a cellular level, I truly know what is best for my highest good. I bathe my body in truth. I allow my soul to be bathed in light, love, laughter, joy. I now am beginning to understand a lot of the fears I carried were learned. They weren't mine. I trust my higher self. I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going even when I don't. No longer feeling fear, shame, guilt. In this moment, I'm giving myself permission to release old armor, traits that I learned at a very young age that don't serve me as the person I am today. With my beautiful connection to trust, trusting myself, trusting my guides, trusting my gut, I know that I'm always being directed, guided towards right action. I've learned to release any energy around how things are going to happen and simply allow the universe to provide that guidance to me. In this moment, I'm making a pact with myself, with my spirit guides, with the universe, that I will do the legwork. I'm releasing all fear, all worry, enveloping my body in light and love, speaking my truth with a capital T, trusting myself with a capital T, feeling lighter, looser, freer, and so full of gratitude, so thankful, and so it is. So very slowly coming back into your body. Hello, hello, hello. How do you feel?
Excellent.
Good.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Well, we can do a whole meditation. We can do a whole hour of meditating. Absolutely.
Whoa, that'd be cool.
That would be awesome. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thanks for sticking around. We're at the end of the show, and I hope that the answers provided clarity and guidance. And it's all it is. It's a guide. It's not set in stone. So use it the way you see fit. I trust you all. I trust yourself. Trust yourself. If I can offer assistance, if Bente and I can offer assistance, that's what we're here to do. But we trust you. So, hey, I love this.
Me too.
This was fun.
So fun. We'll definitely do another one of these in the future.
Yeah. Yes.
Send us your questions.
Please do. Please do. Anything coming up for you? Anything we need to know?
What's coming up? No, I'm looking forward to spring.
Yeah.
Things are turning green in Los Angeles, and this is my favorite time of year where it's lush. And I'm going to try and be in more in nature this spring.
Me and you both. I love it. Yeah. Perfect. Good. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for being with us. Bente, thanks for hanging with me.
Thank you so much.
This was good. This was fun. We'll see you next week. Bye,
Take care, everybody. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you for sitting with us today. We hope you're leaving with a little more clarity and the permission you've been looking for to create on your own terms. Remember, the clearer your intention, the faster the universe responds. To join our community or to book a private session, visit michaelfrontier.com and follow us on Instagram at michael.frontier and Bente Ingrid. Keep trusting your signal, and we'll see you next time on Reading the Room.